So I want you to be aware of a certain limit, which comes from Google, not from this actual program. But basically, this program uses something called URL fetch, and there's a limit to how many times you can do it in one day. And so if you do too many calls, Google will give you this message. Now the quota, I mean, it's pretty high. It's 20,000 a day for a normal account, 100,000 a day for Google Workspace accounts. And basically, so what this means, if you try to source too many products in one day, let's say you try to source 20,000, it's going to give you this error eventually, and you won't be able to auto source anymore. You have to wait till the next day. So that day you won't be able to do any more, but tomorrow you will. So it's per day, right? So you get you'll get your access to the auto source back the following day. But I want you to be aware of this. Basically, the URL fetch, this is how the program actually goes and searches the web, because it's free, right? First of all, a Google account is free, and second of all, the fetch app, this is a free service, right? It's not like an API service that you're paying for. So they have to put a limit on it, right? Otherwise, everybody would just do 1 million searches a day, right, or more. So in order to keep it free, they put a limit on it. Now, what I want to say is, being that there is this limit, when you're sourcing, you're going to be selective. You're not going to just source any product randomly just because it exists, right? No, if you remember in the video, I chose a brand, right? So you might choose a certain brand, you might choose a certain type of product, right? You're going to be selective. You're still doing the research, right? You're still having to research and be selective in what brand or what type of product or whatever you're going to source. And you're going to be reasonable in the number of products. You're not going to try to auto source 10,000 products at one time. That probably will not work out with this limit, because sometimes it takes more than one URL fetch call for one product. So be reasonable with the number of products that you are sourcing at a time. Just keep in mind that you do have some kind of limit per day. Now, I can say from personal experience, it's pretty easy to stay inside the limit without going over. But it can happen. All right, it just happened to me because I was testing something and I was rerunning the same thing over and over and over and over for a lot, because I wanted to see the different results, and that's why I went over and I decided to make a video, because then it occurred to me, wait a minute, other people, you guys might not actually know about this. I already knew about it, but I realized that you might not. Okay, and again, this comes from Google, not from me. This is Google's quota, right? But just be aware of it. So yeah, so just be selective in what you source. First, choose your products, filter whatever products you really want to try to source, and then you auto source them, and just don't try to do 10,000 a day, and you should pretty much be okay from there with staying inside of the quota limit. If you do get one of these errors, nothing to worry about. You're just going to have to wait. You could try using a different Google account sometimes I use a different Google account on the same browser, and it still does the same. It's like it knows I'm on the same browser. So I haven't tried going on another computer. You can try that too if you have another computer. Maybe a different Google account on a different computer also. Well, yeah, that should probably do the trick. I mean, there are different things you could probably do to try to get around the limit, but basically the limit is here on Google for how many calls you can do in a day, which is going to affect how many times you can source a product in a day. All right, and if you have any comments or questions about this, just let me know, in case you still don't really understand how this works or what I'm talking about in this video. And this is posted on a channel that is not the channels where I usually post, because this is just like a technical issue that goes under my general tools. So anything like that, I will put it on this kind of general tools channel, which is a channel I made just to make videos for the tools in general and to address issues on those tools. And so you can always make the comment here, but you can still contact me directly by email as well if you have my email. And so yeah, so just keep in mind everything I said in this video, and if anything, I'll just see you around or hear from you.